You see that right there. And then I'll start pulling up the other ones.
Yeah, so this, just to like give everyone a heads up, so this was a 57 pickup that I saw out here at a Good Guys car show in Scottsdale, Arizona. And you can't really see it here, but this had a suede matte finish. And I just really liked the truck. I was like, man, this is just a cool looking truck. And so this was the inspiration for this build that he's going to show, which it started out. So in the midst of me working on the funny car, I was like, okay, I need to have something to take a break from it, because there was a lot of times that funny car became where it was a lot more work. And so I wanted something fun. This is going to be a curbside build that was supposed to be quick back in like 2013. And obviously it's still not finished. But I was trying to do something as far as, hey, I want to build something like this. It's not a replica, but it's kind of, in a sense, a replica, if that makes sense. I wasn't going to try to make everything identical, but I wanted to try something. And when I saw the Mexican blanket, I was like, how can I do this? You know, I want to have a Mexican blanket in there. And at the time, I believe some of the decals out there, to me, it just didn't look, they didn't play the right part for me. And I was like, how can I do this? And I don't know where or how I got the idea, but as you see on the screen here, these are just some of your crafting yarns. I bought this stuff at Walmart. And I was like, well, let me see, how am I going to try to do this? And I thought, hey, if I get this stuff, what I did here, what you see, like the strands. So I was unstranding the pieces to use that. And so basically I put those pieces and then kind of basically took some Tamiya tape, flipped it upside down, and just started laying it out and trying to figure out a pattern. How can I copy that look that I was going for from the real truck? And my first couple pieces weren't really successful. Excuse me. I think I started where I started going really, straight. You'd have the stuff, and then somehow I got off kilter, and like it was wonky, and I'm like, whoa, that's not going to work, because so back to the drawing board I go. So I do another one. And same thing, I was going to have it where it wrapped around on that 55 kit. The seat and the back are two separate pieces. So I try to make it all in one solid piece. I'm like, oh, I'll tuck a little bit under. That didn't work. So I had to actually make two separate pieces. So in the kit, or the build of this, like the seat, I had it wrap over the seat, and then I made a separate piece, and then I had to just make sure that when I put the pieces on, I aligned the stuff, so everything kind of was in line when you see the two separate pieces. So it simulates like the blanket would be tucked in. But at the time when this here, I had never seen anyone do this, and I thought, how else can I do it? And here's one of those things, trying something, and it just kind of worked. And I think Paul was saying something, and I showed him pictures on this, and I wish I've had this build done sooner, but it makes me seeing stuff. I'm like, it's another one of these ones right now that I definitely want to get back to. And I want to get this done in the here in the next, I'd say 6 months, because I got a couple things I'm trying to do, but this is one I'm like, hey, I'm going to pull this back out and start building it. Obviously it's a curbside. There's going to be no motor. And so the interior is completely done. There's really not much on the chassis. I just got to start doing some body work. And then there's something that what you don't see in the picture of the real car, the bed, the guy actually has like some bamboo pieces. So he had kind of a little bit of a elevated bed. So I've started to design and print some stuff just to try to simulate the bed, that will go on the back of this. But it's going to be just a curbside, and it's going to be sprayed with just the base, and I'm not going to, there's going to be no clear on it to try to get that sheen, what you kind of see there, because since this real car was not a high glossy piece. And then the only thing that I did use, you see that the hubcaps, obviously, I wasn't going to find anything that matched that. Right now, I could probably go draw some up to have it match that, but I want to use those Mexican sombreros that I believe those were from, was it Bob Dudek? Dudek, I believe, was who I got those from. So I just kind of like the little styling with the model house wheels, and you know, like I said, on this, just trying this blanket thing. It's just I've got some future builds where actually I want to do it with, you know, I went and bought a whole bunch of other colors just to have some other things to be able to do, but you know, this was just kind of a cool thing that I didn't see. Like I said, that blanket was done back in 2013. So that tells you how long this build has been sitting around, and I need to finish it up.
It's like, finish me. Dude,
Yeah.
this is cool. This is so cool. When you sent me these photos, I was tripping. I was like, wait, what? And then right here, like you know, I would have probably made the mistake and just used it as is, like this, all thick. But then,
yeah. Well,
right
what I
here,
would tell you,
separated. Was dope.
what you see here, Edgar, I would go back. So I don't know if you can tell, but there's another spot where there's actually, in each of these pieces here, there's another 2 pieces that are twined together. On the next one I do, I want to take those ones apart, and so they'll be just a little bit thinner, just to see how that would be. And so I tried, like with this picture, the only thing I couldn't get correct was, if you see on the real car in the upper picture, there's those little crosses. I was like, there's no way that that's happening. So I just, you know, I kind of went with my own thing to make it close to it with similarities on this real car. And I even, like on the door panel, you know, I sanded off whatever was molded in on the kit one, and I kind of tried to simulate what was there.
Yeah, man, this is so cool, because this just opens up, you know, a lot, like a door for a lot of people here to add more detail to their builds.